President-elect Donald J. Trump said Tuesday that intelligence officials had delayed briefing him on their conclusion that Russia interfered in the 2016 election and suggested, with no evidence, that they might be buying time to assemble a more substantial case. A spokesman for the Director of National Intelligence declined to comment on Mr. Trump's claim. Senior administration officials disputed it, saying that no meeting had been scheduled for Tuesday. Mr. Trump's Twitter post, on a day when he had said he might reveal things that other people don't know about the hacking, underscored his skepticism about the intelligence agency's conclusion that the Russian government used cyber attacks to tip the election in his favor. He posted it as senior national security officials, including the FBI Director, James B. Comey, and the Director of National Intelligence, James R. Clapper Jr., were finalizing plans to travel to New York on Friday to brief him about their findings. It was not clear whether a meeting to discuss the hacking had been scheduled for Tuesday or, if so, why it did not occur. But Mr. Trump's insinuation was that intelligence officials were intentionally withholding information from him. For weeks, he has dismissed their findings and strongly criticized the intelligence agencies, saying they cannot be trusted because they were convinced, incorrectly, that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq before the United States' 2003 invasion. The decision by Mr. Comey and Mr. Clapper to brief Mr. Trump in person appears to be an effort to show him how seriously they take their conclusions that the Russian government was behind the hacking of Democratic officials before the election. Last month, President Obama ordered the intelligence agencies and national security officials to provide him with a full report on Russia's meddling. The White House has not said when the report will be completed, but Sean Spicer, a spokesman for Mr. Trump, told reporters on Tuesday that Mr. Trump had requested the same briefing Mr. Obama receives once the report is done. Mr. Spicer said he expected that to happen this week. In an interview that aired Tuesday on PBS NewsHour, the CIA Director, John O'Brien, defended the intelligence agencies. "I would suggest to individuals who have not yet seen the report, who have not yet been briefed on it, that they wait and see what it is that the intelligence community is putting forward before they make those judgments," Mr. Brennan said. Despite Mr. Trump's skepticism, Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, including Senator John McCain of Arizona, have embraced the intelligence agency's conclusions and praised Mr. Obama's decision last week to impose sanctions on the Russian government. Mr. McCain, who is the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, has scheduled a hearing for Thursday at which Mr. Clapper, the head of the National Security Agency, Admiral Michael S. Rogers, and others are expected to testify about the hacking. Mr. Trump had asked for an array of senior intelligence officials, including Mr. Comey, Mr. Clapper, Admiral Rogers and Mr. Brennan, to brief him in the same room so he could question them about their findings and ascertain whether they agreed with one another's assessments, according to a transition official. It is not clear whether Admiral Rogers and Mr. Brennan will attend the briefing at Trump Tower on Friday. On Tuesday, Mr. Trump, like Mr. Obama, received the president's daily briefing, a summary of high-level intelligence and analysis about global hotspots and national security threats written by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. It is unclear whether Mr. Trump is receiving the presidential briefing every day, but he is getting a general national security briefing daily from Michael T. Flynn, who will be his national security advisor. At his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, FLA, on Saturday, Mr. Trump said he would disclose information on Tuesday or Wednesday that other people don't know about the hacking. In another Twitter post on Tuesday evening, Mr. Trump said he would hold a news conference next Wednesday in New York, which would be his first since July. Last month, he abruptly canceled a news conference where he had been expected to explain how he planned to avoid conflicts of interest from his global business dealings. Next week, Mr. Trump is certain to face questions about his position on Russia's role in the cyber attacks, as well as his faith in the intelligence agencies.